guys, it's Monday morning, so let's start the week off right. And if you're in the UK, it's a bank holiday. I'm going to break down the intro to Taylor Swift's new music video, Lover. Let's get started. So while doing this, I did a few things the wrong way. I don't know why, but at least I can talk you through it, so hopefully you'll miss it. So the first thing I did wrong is the image of the house. So I didn't have time to look for a high-res image of a house, which you will need for this as you're zooming in. So I went into Photoshop and grabbed a bunch of images of houses and went into Photoshop, drew an outline of a house and then pasted those in. First thing I did was made the house too big. Second thing I did, I don't know why, I cut out holes for the rooms, which didn't need doing because the rooms hid them. And just spent too much time on something I shouldn't have. But what you need to do, if you can't find a high-res image, you can do it this way. So you need a background image of a location, which doesn't matter really, whatever suits you or what connects the image to the snow globe. Then draw an outline of the house using a path tool. Make sure it's a solid so you don't have to worry about any holes. Then place the images in accordingly. The only thing you do need to know is how to change the color of each room. To do this, go to Image, Adjustment, Color Mixer, which will bring up this window, which is RGB, which you can change the colors accordingly. Why RGB? If you know, let me know in the comments. Okay, the next thing I needed to do was connect the snow globe image of the swan to the house. So I took an image of the snow globe, I cut out the swan using the pen tool, the paths window and a mask, and placed the swan in the footage, in the picture of the house here. Okay, and then last thing I did was saved it as a TIFF. TIFFs are high-res images and you'll need it for this. And then I went into After Effects and imported all my images and footage. From there, created new comp. Okay, go into After Effects and import all your footage. From there, place your snow globe and the image of the house, and then find the point at where you want the snow globe to vanish and the house to appear, and trim your footage. Okay, from here, this is the second point where I went wrong. The fastest way I thought of this was to just scale it up. Now, yes, it does work. My quality of my image isn't the best, I knew that. But what I found, which I don't know why I didn't initially just realize, was that what the video actually does is go through the image and onto the next scene. So to do this, you'll actually need to work in 3D space. So right click and create camera. I'm going to use a 35 millimeter camera and hit OK. From there, turn everything underneath it into 3D space by clicking on this button. I'm going to change my view to 4 view so I can see what is actually happening. This will allow me to see everything in 3D space. What you'll need to do next is align everything like a stack of plates or a stack of cards. So you'll have the image of the snow globe first. Directly behind that in 3D space, move the image of the house back, and behind that is the image of Taylor Swift, which I'm taking from the video. You'll notice here at the bottom of my comp layer, I have a Taylor Swift layer. This is because I've placed in markers. Now these markers will show me where I need to zoom in at what point. Now you can put these markers at the top here, at the top of the comp. However, I prefer in a layer. To import a marker, all you need to do is click here and here. Okay, once I'm happy with the layout, I can start animating the movement of the camera. So position the camera on the snow globe where you're happy for it to start and hit P on the keyboard for position. Click on the stopwatch to place a keyframe. Then move along to the next marker and zoom in the camera right up to the door, but not through the door, just right up to the door. And then move to the next marker, and by that point we would have moved through the door and onto the next scene. The only thing we're missing here is in the image of the door, we need to place a mask in to show the hole in the door. To do that, click on the house, then the pen tool, draw a mask in the door, and I'm just going to use a really small feather of 1. You may need to move the camera movement slightly between these markers. Once you're happy with the camera movement, highlight the keyframes, right click and hit Easy Ease. Click on the graph tool and change the points by clicking here. Okay, there's only two things left to do now. We're going to add some distortion from when it moves from shot to shot. Right click here and add an adjustment layer. From there, in the Effects and Presets panel, type in Gaussian Blur and CC Lens and drag both onto the adjustment layer. Find the point where you want this effect to happen on the snow globe and hit keyframes on the size of the lens and the blur of the Gaussian blur. The higher the size on the lens, the less the effect applies. I'm going to move to the end of the snow globe and change the size to 200 and the blur to 40. Once I'm through to the house, a few frames forward, I'm going to change the keyframe back to 500 and the blur to 0. Then move to the end of the house clip before it moves through the keyhole and into the last shot, and use the same keyframes. So 5, 200, 5, 0, 40, 0. Once this happened, I realized my shot of Taylor Swift was a bit out, so I'm going to move it down. Okay, and the last thing to add, just to give it a bit of pop, is that we're going from a snow globe into a house, into a scene. Now, what we're saying is all of this is in a snow globe, so we need to add some sort of particle effect, just to sell it a bit more. So, you can grab a particle effect from the internet, which I have. Import this and place this under the snow globe, but on top of the rest of the footage. From here, change the blend mode to add, and you're done.
I hope you liked that, guys. As always, thanks for everything. Hit the like and subscribe button and stay inspired.